new government analysis shows the closure of coal-powered energy plants in the New South Wales Hunter region will be devastating for the economy and jobs. This document, obtained by AIM Agenda, shows the unemployment rate will spike, indirect jobs will be affected and wealth will diminish in the region. The closure of AGL energy stations, Bayswater and Liddell, are expected to result in a $33 million loss of income for the Upper Hunter region alone. The report is called Estimated Impacts of CFPS, which is coal-fired power stations and associated coal mine closures. It was commissioned in October and has been done by the Climate Change Department. It directly states the closures could have a significant impact with an estimated increase in unemployment, and it says 6.7%, the largest of all coal-fired power regions. The fourth largest reduction in income of at least $33 million. This report also goes on to say that nearby Lake Macquarie West and Wyong will be affected. Transitioning workers will likely compete for similar employment opportunities, particularly in new energy, manufacturing and agriculture. So we're talking about 520 direct jobs that would go and 268 indirect jobs. This is according to the government's own figures. Now, it does note that AGL is planning to build a grid-scale battery in the Upper Hunter that might help generate jobs. Well, sure, but this document, again, a government document, says that will only create around 100 jobs in the construction phase. Joining me live now is Nationals MP Barnaby Joyce looking at this report. Barnaby, it is not good for the biggest coal region in the country, to put it mildly.
Oh, it's disastrous. We're talking about an increase of over 6%, I think, 6.7% additional in the unemployment rate. And they have this document. And this is just a document for the Upper Hunter. What about the document for Calare and Dawson and Capricornia and Cunningham and Shortland? What about the document for Flynn? They've been hiding this. They've just done a censure motion asking for transparency, yet they've been hiding the direct effects of a document they commissioned, the Labor Party commission, helpfully left with a photo of Assistant Minister Jenny McAllister to make it absolutely certain that it's their document. So what they should do today, immediately, is table the full report, because they owe it to the Australian people to be direct and honest, just like they asked for then in the chamber. Be honest. Otherwise, be sneaky and hypocritical. And so we need to know exactly what the effect is across our nation. I am absolutely certain that this is not just about the Upper Hunter. And what they talk about in it is the sudden and concurrent closure of all power stations, or associated coal jobs. So not only would that be a disaster for those who work at the coal-fired power plants and the miners associated with it, what about the industry? What about the price of electricity? It'll go, don't you think it's dear enough? I mean, this is ridiculous. It'll go through the roof. And then they say, might be renewable jobs. Show me the renewable town. I'll show you the coal towns, Billawheeler, Singleton, Muswellbrook, Curry, just to name but a few, Emerald. I can show you them. Where's the renewable town? Where are these magic jobs? And what you'll find, for even if they talk about battery, they'll be fly-out contract workers, not locals.
Well, that's the whole point. We don't have this whole report. It was commissioned in October. I understand it was given to MPs, or at least the minister in charge, sometime in November. I don't know when the government is actually planning to release this full report, but looking at the biggest area, the Upper Hunter, that relies on coal, it's pretty devastating. Just to repeat, 520 direct jobs, 268 indirect jobs, about $33 million worth of wealth pulled out of that area. But Barnaby, it's not all the federal government's fault. This is the trajectory. This is where the New South Wales state government is taking it. So what do you actually, what's this report for, and what do you want the government to actually do with it now that, these appear to be the facts?
Well, what I want them to do with it today is to table it. What I want is the people in those local electorates to say, you've got the report for my area, let's see it. What I want is to Mr. Bone to explain that why he was in Sharm el-Sheikh talking about giving away our money, he wasn't talking about the money that was going to be lost from our regions and the jobs that are going to be lost from our regions. From their own report. From their own report.
Can it be prevented at this point?
Well, yes. First thing is you want let the sunlight in, transparency, so people can see exactly what's about to happen to them. And once we see what's going to happen to them, the political pressure will come up not to do it to them. That is self-evident. People in central Queensland will be saying, OK, you got the upper Hunter one, where's our one? We want to know what's going to happen to our jobs. If this is your plan, if this is what you want to do, you're going to kick us out into the street, let's see it. And how sneaky. They had it. And then they just said, oh, that doesn't look good. Whoop, put that one aside.
Yeah.
So they have the chance today to be honest.
This talks about the cost of transition, doesn't it? This talks about essentially the cost of transitioning to renewables. This own report says, OK, AGL is going to build a big battery. That will mean 100 jobs. But it doesn't quite make up that shortfall. So is there an honest conversation that needs to happen about the cost of transitioning? Not just, with our electricity bills, but the cost in the regional areas?
Absolutely, because with a 6.7% increase just in this small area, 6.7% increase on top, don't you think that warrants honesty and transparency to table the whole document for every area? Every area, as I mentioned, whether it's Dawson, whether it's Maranoa, whether it's Calare, whether it's Capricornia, whether it's Shortland, whether it's Patterson. Don't you think, and the rest of the Hunter, this is just the upper Hunter. What about the southern part of the Hunter? What about the jobs there? And so it's incumbent upon a government to be honest to the Australian people. They just had a censure motion talking about that. That was their words. Their words. You just heard them. So let's see how good they are to their own word. Let's see if they'll give us the full document so we can have total transparency, because the people who are going to be kicked to the curb deserve that.
Right, we'll see where we get with that. We'll ask if they will release that report, when they'll do it. Barnaby Joyce, as always, thank you for your time.